Welcome on in to Sports Memo Today. It's a Tuesday edition, and happy start to the NBA season. Man, the sports calendar is flying past. We're already moving into the NLCS and ALCS. One more game to take care of before we know who's going to be going in the American League. But we're happy to be here with you. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and we have not one of our Tuesday or $2 Tuesday handicappers. We got two of them. We got Ronald Cabang coming up. This guy's been making the rounds. Every time I turn on my computer, I see Ronald Cabang talking NBA somewhere. We're going to talk some NFL, and of course, we're going to be talking NBA with him, and we're talking NFL and college football with the Iceman. That's right, Jesse Schule making his triumphant return here to Sports Memo Today. And as I mentioned there, $2 Tuesday, you see on the side at sportsmemo.com, we do Triple Play Tuesday, where, of course, you can buy the individual plays for $2. But why would you do that when you could get Ronald Cabang, a.k.a. UCapper, Jesse Schule, a.k.a. Mr. Perfect, a.k.a. Iceman, and Eric Pauly, 5% plays that you can grab for just $5. It's the best value in the biz. And if you head on over to Wager Talk, you can get my man, Rob Vino. He's got a $2 Tuesday Platinum best bet. So I don't know if he's talking about the grays on the side or if he loves the play that much, but we will see if we can get the clean sweep on the board there. We also want to let you know before we welcome in Ronald Cabang here, if you buy that $5 triple play that we have over at sportsmemo.com, you're going to find two coupons inside that to not only take $200 off of Ronald Cabang's NBA season through the playoffs. How about you can also get a $4.99 discount, so total under $500, and that'll get you every NFL and college football selection from Jesse Schule. Man, we're just giving it away today here on $2 Tuesday. Let's welcome in my guy, Ronald Cabang. And as I mentioned, RC, the busy time of the year has started, so you got all the vacations done, all the camping is done, because the only place your ass is going to be camping is in front of your computer to handicap these games. I have to say, RC, we've been doing pretty good here on the free plays. We had an outright winner with the Texans. We missed by a half point on the Kansas Jayhawks game when you were on Thursday, but we did get the Bengals home 2.5. So you got to be feeling good. And I know you're excited about what's upcoming with the NBA, right, my guy?
Yeah, man. NBA is my passion. I've been playing basketball since I was a young kid and going into coaching, and now betting on NBA is like one of the things that I've, grown to love and do.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately enough, I've been able to do it at a successful rate, especially the last two seasons here with Sports Memo. So I'm really excited for it. Dude, I've been locked in on the first 3 days already. I got my plays for the first 3 days of the NBA. That's how excited I've been.
So you can grab the $2 play in that $5 triple play pack, and then you can ride with Ronald the rest of the season. Take a $200 off discount that's inside if you buy that play. And he's not lying, plus 122.6 units of profit for his clients since he's been with Sports Memo the last two seasons. I will say, you mentioned you've been hooping since you were young. I noticed that when I showed up to play a little basketball in Vegas, you were nowhere to be found. I'm not accusing you that you were ducking me or whatever, but next time I'll see you on the court, no, you're going to cook me. I'm horrible at basketball. But let's talk some NBA betting, my guy. And when we talked on Thursday, you were just really talking about your love for this Timberwolves team coming into the season and that you thought there was some value betting them over their season win total. Well, it can all start on Tuesday when they are laying a number against OKC. Yeah, a team that most people aren't high on, that Thunder squad. 10.5 is the line that I'm seeing on the Wager Talk live odds screen as the Timberwolves face off against the Thunder. Are we laying it and starting it off strong with one win under the belt for Minnesota? How are you betting it?
Yeah, man, you just mentioned I'm really high on this Timberwolves team this season, especially during the regular season. I don't know what their experience is going to be like in the playoffs when they get there, but I know they're probably going to be in the top 3 in the West. I do have a futures bet that has them winning the West at plus 1 1800. So,
Mm.
to me, that kind of shows how much I love this team right here. They did a lot of work to improve this squad as a whole this offseason. We're going to see Anthony Edwards really kind of step it up here, hopefully become a first-time All-Star. I think the key component here, though, is the bench. I think they've really created some depth in that second unit. Naz Reid is someone that I feel like is underrated. Kyle Anderson is underrated, coming from a winning organization and kind of bringing that winning attitude towards this team. Naz Reid, like I mentioned earlier, being underrated. If you watch how he played in the preseason, he really stepped his game up offensively, and he was already a pretty good defensive player. Watching last season, but the offense this season is something I'm going to be watching. He's able to shoot from the three, able to be in the post as well. So he's a dual threat that people are going to have to worry about in the second unit. And then Jalen Noel is someone that I feel like is also underrated, who's one of those guys that you could look at as a sort of a six-man type of role where they just come in the second unit and try to score at will, sort of like a Jordan Crawford, Tyler Harrell, Jordan Poole type role. Obviously, I mean, it's going to take a while to get to that level, but that's the role that he's trying to fill here with Minnesota. I think out of all the players on the squad, Cat will probably be the biggest adjustment, both offensively and defensively. I think he's going to have a career high in three-point attempts from his position this season with Gobert in the post. But I also think he's going to have a huge adjustment to make on the defensive side of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see, how he adjusts and how much he can improve with his perimeter defense. On the Thunder side, they had an amazing preseason, but to me, I feel like they overperformed by a huge margin. I think they're not going to win at this rate in the regular season. And you could tell by just looking at the line here at -10.5. It opened up at -9.5. My model has it at -13. So I'm seeing a lot of value here still within the line at -10.5 or -11. Shai Gilgeous, he's going to be available on the opening day, but he didn't have any playing time in the preseason. So it might take him a little bit to adjust or even get his stamina up to where he can play 30-plus minutes a game. Ultimately, I think the Thunder, they're probably going to be one of those teams, just like last season. They're probably going to be a big dogs every single game, but cover a majority of them. But I think this one will probably get ugly early and often. To me, the Wolves are double-digit favorites here, but I like I said earlier, the model at -13. Either the books are not giving the Wolves the respect they deserve to start off the season, or they're giving too much respect to a Thunder team and giving them credit for what they accomplished in the preseason. To me, either way, it's going to get ugly. The Wolves here, I feel like it's going to be a blowout, close to 20 points. So take the Wolves -11 here.
Man, he's not lying. That sounds like a man who has been capping the NBA for about 3 weeks before the NBA has even started. And it's probably even longer that you've been diving into some of this stuff. So, RC, let's talk about this Pelicans team, because when you were on Wager Talk today, Rob Vino also on, he was talking about how high he is on this Pelicans team. And he likes their over-season win total just due to the kind of reshuffled roster that they have. Having Zion back, potentially being able to move some players into more comfortable positions for them. And they start off against one of my favorite players in the league, I say tongue-in-cheek, with Ben Simmons and the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow. They're making the trip up there into Brooklyn, and they're about 3.5 point dogs, depending which side you like, try and find the hook, backing up your side. Pelicans going in, pulling up the upset, or are you taking the points? How are we betting this one?
I'll be taking the points, but I do think there's a chance that they come out with the outright win. I think I talked to you about it not too long ago about taking dogs, and when I bet dogs, I really want to catch the teams that I feel like can win outright, and that's the same case here. I think Pelicans should be able to win this game outright, but definitely take the points as some cushion here. Zion, he should be able to play this game. I know he's having some ankle injuries already early, but the Nets are going to be without two key role players on their squad, Joe Harris and Seth Curry, two guys they can really rely on from behind the arc. And based on the preseason performance, they need those guys to be there to spread the court. It looks like it might take a little bit longer for these the four core guys to get in sync with Ben Simmons offensively, because they were struggling to score. I mean, I think one game they scored in the 80s, and the highest amount they scored was 112 in the preseason. They just didn't look in sync altogether. And another thing too is rebounds and turnovers were a big part of their struggle in the preseason. So unless Ben Simmons becomes a 10 plus rebound guy, I don't think the Nets really did anything to improve the depth at the center and power forward position or the rebounding aspect of their game. And also turnovers as well. Turnovers were a big key. That's something that is going to be fixed hopefully over time for these teams for the Nets. But right now, I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get gelled to gel together. On the opposing teams, I feel like they're going to eat in the paint there with I think Nick Claxton is probably going to be the starting center. Beyond that, there's really nobody there to hold down the paint. Last season, the Nets were dead last in defensive rebounding, and that kind of leads me to why I feel like the Pelicans have a chance to win this, because they have guys like Zion and Valanciunas who are pretty good at offensive rebounding, and they can eat in the post as well. Pelicans, I feel like that's probably going to be one of the biggest reasons why they stay close here. For the most part, there's some good continuity with this team as well. Obviously, a healthy Zion is going to be important, but I think the key to this team is to be unselfish, because they got a lot of mouths to feed on this roster. I'm not too sure what Rob Vino said about why he likes the over, but for me, I think these guys here, McCollum, Zion, Jonas, Ingram, and Graham, those are 5 guys who can put up 20 points on any given night, and that gives them the ability to be flexible. So if the team can be unselfish, any given night, they should be able to find a mismatch that they could take advantage of, and that's going to be key for this team to get over the win total. Then you got some defensive-minded players like Herb Jones and Jackson Hayes. Then you got guys like Alvarado and Larry Nance who are role players, and they play their role well. So to me, this roster is pretty deep, and if you've been watching or listening to some of my breakdowns in recent shows, depth in the regular season is super important to getting those win totals over. I think the Pelicans here in this matchup specifically, the length is going to give them the benefit and will give them the advantage on both sides of the ball. I really think that the Pelicans really do have a shot to win this one outright. But like I said earlier, take the points for some cushion.
Taking the points with the Pelicans is Ronald Cabang, a.k.a. UCappers, a best bet in this Pelicans-Brooklyns game. My best bet, not as much value. No, Ben Simmons on three-pointers made. It's minus 1,400. So if you got some extra cash laying around and want to get a penny back on your bet, just say Ben Simmons probably not hitting a three-pointer tomorrow. Ronald, you mentioned how deep you are into this NBA season. You're our $2 Tuesday handicapper at SportsMemo alongside Jesse Schule and my man Eric Pauly. If people head on over to your page, of course, grab that $3 or that $5 triple play here. What else are they going to find over there, and how pumped up are you, brother?
Man, I'm super pumped. Like I said earlier, I already got my my first 3 days lined out for the NBA. They're all up there for my clients, for those who picked up the season-long package already. So that's there. And then the NFL, college football is gonna keep pumping those out. I had a good run, 8-1 run in the NFL. Had a losing Sunday, but got back on the winning side yesterday on Monday Night Football. So, for me, I think overall in a long stretch, I'm seeing the board pretty well, and just really overall excited for the NBA to be here.
Absolutely love it. That's Ronald Cabang, a.k.a. UCapper. You can check out his content on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter as well. You can get his 5% best bet by heading over to sm.buzz/RC. Even if you just go to the Sports Memo Made page, you're going to see the little widget there that also has Jesse Schule on it and Eric Pauly, all 3 of my guys with 5%ers locked and loaded that you can get for just $5. And when you buy that, $200 off the NBA season from UCapper. You see a coupon for that inside of the package, and you can get NFL and CFB for the rest of the season from our next guest, Jesse Schule, for just $4.99. Can't beat it. Let's welcome him back, Mr. Perfect himself, Jesse Schule, joining the show, doing his best groundskeeper Willie impersonation. Brother, it's good to see you, man. How you been?
Well, Dan, my man, it's all going according to plan. It's been a pretty good start to the football season for me.
Yeah, and that's why it's great and why I wanted to have Ronald up first, you up second, because yes, it's NBA. Yes, we have the MLB playoffs in full swing, my Philadelphia Phillies in action, but nobody's forgetting about the gridiron. And if you're looking at football, very few people you want to be riding alongside other Then my man Jesse Schule, been running hot on both college football and NFL. He's had some clean sweeps on some boards, and you know when that happens, you head on over to Twitter and check out the Mr. Perfect video. Let's talk this Colts game here, excuse me, where the Colts, they may have saved their season last week. I mean, I don't know if it was Freaky Friday where Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers switched bodies and Matt Ryan somehow ended up there playing the Jets, but they're going to be looking to stay hot. Matt Ryan was lighting it up. He had some career highs in passing, but now it's a divisional foe that they're going to be facing off against. Titans off of the bye, well rested, what everybody always says. Teams coming off the bye. Is that how you're betting this one? Maybe come back down to earth moment, or do the Colts keep rolling?
Well, Dan, as much success as I've had with football this season, hitting close to 80% combined with both college and the NFL, I got a dirty little secret, and that is I was really high on the Colts coming into the year. You might remember I gave out a couple plays on this show back in August on Colts over their season wins total and to win the division. And, of course, they only won one of their first 4 games, and it looked like an embarrassing prediction for me, and it still doesn't look that good. I mean, the Titans just spanked them a couple weeks back, and now they're in Tennessee. Titans coming off of a bye. Really looks like a tough spot for the Colts. But you know what my man Lee Corso says? Not so fast, my friends. So the Titans did win at Indy, and now they're back home. Normally you give about 3 points for home field, but the history does not tell us that in this matchup. The road team has actually won 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. This line opened around a pick'em, and people have been fading the Colts, probably because they've been looking like trash. But you mentioned it, Matt Ryan, his first year with the Colts, he's had problems with turnovers. His offensive line is just garbage, by the way. I watched that entire game last weekend. He was great, though. I mean, 365, what did he throw for? He threw for 389 yards and 3 touchdowns on 42 of 58 passing without a Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. 0 sacks, but they hit him a ton. He was taking a ton of hits, picking himself up, and just going like a warrior. So I was really impressed with Matt Ryan. I've kind of got some high hopes that he's coming into his own. I did mention that the Colts offensive line is hot garbage. Well, the Titans offensive line is even worse. And we're hoping to get Jonathan Taylor back this week. Big matchup against Derrick Henry. So how's Derrick Henry doing? 408 yards, averaging 3.9 yards per carry throughout the first 5 games. That's in comparison to last year. First 5 games, he had 640 yards, was averaging about a yard more per carry. So that poor offensive line is hurting Derrick Henry, also coming off that injury last year. This line is at 3. I'm gonna go with the Colts. I like the Colts +3. If it goes to 3.5, it'll be an official play for clients.
We're looking towards the Colts, and also numbers that we have from our guy Ralph Michaels, Cal Sports LV on Twitter, the human database, the pen. Titans are off the bye. They get to stay home. They're going to be well rested. That's what the convention would say. Well, since 2015, according to our guy Ralph Michaels and his database, post bye home favorites cover the spread under 43% of the time. So it's not a pull off the rubber band stat, but just kind of tells you, convention and running with narratives, maybe not always the way to go. We're looking at the dog here with my guy, Jesse Schule. And no, he didn't misspeak. No, he didn't stutter. 80% in NFL and college football combined. I mean, if you're not riding with Jesse, I don't know what the heck you guys are doing. Mr. Perfect, ready to ride. Let's talk a little college football, and it's the Chip Kelly revenge game. I don't know if it's Chip Kelly who's looking for revenge, if it's Oregon saying, hey, you never really did all that great since you left here. All I know is this total looks like it's an old school Chip Kelly total. 70 I'm looking at on the board. There's some 69.5s as UCLA and Oregon are facing off. I don't know. Is this total too high? It's not high enough, because I just look at that and it pops my eye out. There should be some scoring when these two teams face off. What do you think, Jesse?
Well, it's not often that you're going to see me want to bet over a number of 70, but this week it's a different story. Like you said, it's Chip Kelly's homecoming game. He's coming in with his undefeated UCLA Bruins. They're coming off a bye week. They just dropped 42 points on a very good Utah team. They've had plenty of time to prepare for this. I expect them to be ready to rock. You got Zach Charbonnet. He's got 615 yards and 6 touchdowns so far. He's averaging 7.1 yards per carry. He went off for 198 yards on 22 carries against the Utes in his last game. And we did see Oregon lose in week 1, 49-3 against Georgia. They struggled against a really physical Georgia team. This UCLA team could pose some similar threats. Not saying they're as good as Georgia, but they have quite a stout offensive line and very good running backs. They should be able to pound the rock and really pick up some yards and score some points. But since losing to Georgia, Oregon has won 5 straight games, averaging 50 points per game. 4 of those games went over the total of 70. And I just think that this is going to be one of those games, back and forth, almost scoring on. I think the punters are not going to get any work today, put it that way. I think the last team with the ball wins. As much as I'd like to bet on my Oregon Ducks, there's no way I'm laying 6 points here. I'm going to go with the over. I think you're going to need to score 45 to win this game.
Jesse Schule saying they're going off to the races there, over the 70 points. And wow. That's a lot of scoring going on there. But we will see. UCLA, Oregon, defense was always optional for those Chip Kelly Oregon teams. So I guess in the
Pac-12,
same,
baby.
Yeah, that's the Pac-12 at its finest. The 70 total that you're like, how the hell do I bet under in this? The Pac-12 for sure. Jesse, if people head over to your page, they're going to find that $2 Tuesday play. You can grab that alongside Eric Pauly and our guy, Capper, who was just on at the top of the show. You have anything loaded for this weekend that you're also eyeing outside of that 5% that you dropped? And what else will people find over there? sm.buzz/JS.
Well, you can look forward to 3 to 5 college football plays, 3 to 5 NFL plays. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put on the Mr. Perfect costume this week. Did go 3-1 with NFL this week, so still ticking along. Like I said, my man Dan, everything's going according to plan.
Man, when 3-1 is the bad week, that's when you know you're having a damn good season. Iceman, great seeing you, brother. I hope we're seeing the Mr. Perfect outfit rather soon, but 3-1, hey, we'll take it. We'll talk to you again soon, man. Thanks. And the hat tip on the way out, man. The bowler cap. I always said to him before we went on, I was like, I don't know if you're going to do a mob hit or if you're about to give us a winner. That's Jesse Schule. Big thanks to him and Ronald Cabang. Already told you about umpteen times, and you see it on the side. You can grab their 5%ers alongside Eric Pauly. Find a coupon to take $200 off of Ronald Cabang's best bet here, or the rest of his NBA season, excuse me. And then you can also get $4.99 NFL and college football from Jesse Schule, who, wow, 80%. Just about speaks for itself. So if you enjoyed the show, hop in the comments. Let us know what you're betting, whether you agree, whether you disagree. That's going to do it for us, but we will be back. Football edition coming this Thursday. And until then, for Ronald Cabang, for Jesse Schule, I'm Dan Alexander, and we'll see you next time on Sports Memo Today.